This is Scott Taves of the Silver Eye Sports Show. I'm here with the Steinbach Let's Run people. We've got Greg and Tad. Thank you so much for joining us here today. This is just so fantastic you guys can make it out. Just last Saturday, right?
Yeah.
The 10th anniversary of Let's Run.
Yeah, 10 years. It's amazing. You reflect back 2008 we started. Of course, we started planning a year in advance of that, so it's sort of 11 years for the committee. Many of the same people on the committee now that were those 11 years ago.
So how many original members do you still have with you?
Well, I would say, 3 or 4 of our committee of 11. So that's pretty impressive. Some have kind of left it in the time and then come back during the different years. So it's become family, really.
Absolutely.
You plan this for a year, but really we always start in the fall, working kind of hard on it, and you have them in your home all these weeks, and
Sure.
you've seen kids growing up, kids get born, those kind of things. So
Okay.
it's pretty amazing. 10 years.
So tell me about kind of the motivation behind starting it to begin with. What was the give me the grassroots version of how this dream started. How did it go from nothing to this massive event that took place for his 10th time?
Yeah, well, actually, it was started by a different person. Albert Martins, a local runner in Steinbach, kind of pulled together a bunch of runners that he knew within the area. He kind of wanted to start a club. So we actually met at the Days Inn. We all kind of reflected on that the other day, just to kind of talk about running and what it meant to the community. Back then, running was kind of booming. Like, it kind of went through a cycle of a lot of races opening up, and as we sat down for that day, the club thing kind of, once we got all these people together, the club idea kind of faded away, and we said we should actually put an event in Steinbach.
Yes.
Because a lot of the people in that room, maybe not all of them, but a lot of them that day, are runners and have traveled all over the world participating in a race. Steinbach didn't have anything like that. We had a lot of charity walks, those type of things, but what we kind of came up with that idea on that day was to do something that we travel to, bring that to Steinbach, to kind of share what we love with the local community. So that was really the birth of it, and that's how we started.
Oh, that's incredible. So from that first run that took place, how many people were involved with the planning committee in that very first one? Do you know?
Huge.
Yeah?
20, 25 people,
Oh, no.
I think. It was huge.
So a lot of enthusiasm.
Yes, lots of enthusiasm.
That's it. So you had to scale that down a bit, I guess, over the years, eh?
Yeah, and we started getting roles. People had, the first year we kind of all just helped wherever we could help, wherever we were gifted in, we just did this and everyone, that kind of thing. And then, we've always been about 11 to 15 people, and then we've all gotten specific roles, and then that is what we look after throughout the whole year.
That's awesome, because so how many participants did you have in that very first event?
It's funny, I was actually just looking recently, it was actually pretty good, almost 280 or so.
Wow, that's impressive.
Yeah, and when we sat down that first meeting and we're talking about, we thought we'd be happy with 100, and then to hit 280 in that first year.
Just exceeded expectations
It
right out
did.
the gates, right?
And I think people were hungry for it because, again, they were seeing these events, in Winnipeg or wherever, and they wanted to experience that, and we brought it into the community, gave them the time to experience. A lot of the charity walks, where you just walk and you're done, and these kind of things, but this gave us that race feeling.
Absolutely.
And that's we always wanted to do that, so I think people were hungry for it, and they responded. And really, we grew every year. We were called Run for Mom back then, so
Yes,
there's been a bit of a change. We were a Sunday afternoon, which was a very non-traditional time for running events, but we just thought, because it's new in the community, we put it at a time that's people will be free. And it was on Mother's Day, so that's, of course, where the Run for Mom thing came up.
Of course,
pretty easy to come up with that. And it really grew. Every single year we had growth. Through whenever we changed the name 3-4 years ago, then we changed it to a Saturday morning, of course, and then the numbers dropped a little bit, but since then, again, we've been growing every single year. It's 10%, 10%, 10%, so it's, over the 10 years, 5,000 runners.
That's just incredible. And you're not just getting, the Steinbach representation has just been incredible, hasn't it? Like, the Steinbach region has been phenomenal, but you're getting runners from Winnipeg.
Yeah, all over.
We're all over, right? Like, it's
over,
just
yeah.
become a regional. We're a regional area. Steinbach is our hub. The Eastman region is kind of what drives our our economy in this region, right? So is that representation true of your participants?
Yeah, it is very much so. We do of course get from Winnipeg. At various times we've had 50% of people from Winnipeg in the race.
Okay.
That number's dropped a little bit more the last couple of years. It's become more just that regional, representation. And that's so exciting. Even in running in Manitoba, our area represents very well if you look at the top races. And that's something that we've seen grow over the 10 years. 10 years, I was pretty competitive around, but there wasn't too many other guys or girls. And now if you look at results, the Manitoba Marathon, it's locally almost dominated. It's quite exciting.
That is exciting. That's fantastic. And that's something that anybody from this region will understand. Like you said, like the volunteer walk or the charity walks and all these things. So it's not hard. It's not hard to get people from the Eastman region involved in anything that is for a good cause or for a charity. But so speaking of that charity component, what has been the driving force behind that? How many different charities have you worked with on this?
You can take that one.
Tanya,
The
you've been
charities.
Because was it Rock Eastman?
We did this
This
year.
last reason.
Youth for Christ and
Youth
Rock was this year.
Okay, yeah.
The past years we've done Anna's House, was changed to the Steinbach Family Resource Center.
Absolutely.
We did them for many years. We've done Rock was last year.
Kids Sport.
Kids Sport.
Kids Sport's a good one. Yeah.
We've contributed to cancer care. I think that's, back in the day we always just had one charity that we looked after. In the last couple of years we've given to more charities within.
As you've grown, you've been able to add more components.
Yeah.
What a great way to get. That's kind of the nice thing about running or walking or anything, is that anybody can do it. If they just want to get off the couch and get out and do it, right?
Yeah.
And you're not restricting involvement when you're doing a run or a walk, right? So, and the kids, tell us about. Have you always had the kids component? Because you had the kids run. Was it the 2K? The 2K, right?
The first year we just had the 5K, 10K.
Yeah.
And then we introduced the mini kids, which is ages 3 to 5.
Okay.
So we've done that for many years.
That's
and they all get a bib number that says 1, so they're just little ones running around. I'd say we were a third year. Is this our third year? Fourth year doing the 2K, which is grade kindergarten to grade 4. And that is, I think, our first year we had 70 kids. This year we had almost 200 kids.
No kidding.
Yeah, it is fun.
That's outstanding.
And we hear that they've all gone to school, our son too, they go to school with their t-shirts and we give them medals and they get bib numbers and stuff. There's a lot of hype about it.
Oh, that's so exciting. That's so exciting. And talk about a great example to set for kids moving forward as to why you're not just running for the sake of running, you're running for a purpose, right? Yeah. You're running for, like you said, if it's Rock Eastman or Kids Sport or any other charitable organization. Talk about a great example for for the kids moving forward. So now, obviously, running an event of this size does not come without its challenges. So tell everybody that's going to be watching this, what are some of the hurdles that you guys have to go through to make an event like this happen? Either good, bad, or the good, bad, and the ugly. To quote Clint Eastwood.
Where do we start? Well, I mean, you're always challenged by the weather, and that is a variable you have zero control of until the moment you hit go or hit start. So that of course, you have to prepare for everything, and we've really, over 10 years, we've got almost everything except a torrential downpour. During the race, we got that minutes after once, but...
No kidding. Snow? You've had snow?
Well, we've had snow the day before, in the middle of May twice.
But the race date's been perfect.
Oh, that's awesome.
Except last year.
Last year was, I think, -8 Celsius.
It was cold last year.
Yeah, it was cold. People still come up to me and say how cold they were. Us as organizers, of course, are extra challenged by that, and volunteers, because we're out there for a better part of a day just to put on the event. So yeah, last year was pretty memorable. Things like wind, all those variables, right? Like, you have to kind of be thinking ahead of what could come. And there's just other challenges. You're always looking for an interesting course, interesting layout. When we started, we went from the Eastman Educational Center. Mm-hmm. And that part of town, in these 10 years, has grown so much it would be absolutely impossible for us to do it.
Well, no kidding, yeah.
Just with the traffic. We've always wanted to kind of have a very interesting route, so we've often done within the city of Steinbach, and of course that has challenges because you're shutting down streets and waving traffic and all these kind of things. This year we of course moved it to our soccer park, which is a great facility. Very different for us as organizers because we didn't have a lot of streets to deal with.
No, it was I got great from the people I spoke to. My wife ran in the event and she just spoke glowingly of the course and how wonderful it was. It was something different, right? Like you said, yeah.
Yeah, and it really showcased something that's in the last, 5 years maybe that part has been in Steinbach. The trails that they put in, the pathways, the asphalt or the gravel trails through the bush farm trails, like for runners, it is just fantastic. And that's something 10 years ago we just didn't have in our town.
Yeah, just the evolution. That's kind of the nice thing about these events too. As time progresses, like you said, like you're describing how one part of the city didn't even really come into it. Yeah, it didn't exist, didn't factor into planning out your course as it does now, right? So that's fantastic. Now, how about, have you had it? You gotta have some stories about things coming down to the wire and not quite
It's going bad.
Well, bad or not bad. We'll call it quality control because it doesn't.
Year one, here's a funny story. Of course, we're a very new event, so people didn't really know what was going on, and we had the fire department out, to help with traffic control. Mm-hmm. Well, of course, we're at the mercy of calls. I'm getting fire calls. So, boom, fire call goes, and whatever, a few minutes into our race, and so, we have about 200 and whatever people on the course. They decide the shortest route with the fire trucks, after they've gone to the call, and they have to come back through our route, was to go right through the middle of where we have all our people.
Oh, no.
So it worked out okay, like no one was hurt, everything was fine, but here we see the fire trucks come barreling down in the ambulance, and we have all these runners on the road, and it's like, no, go that way, please.
And as an organizer, you're going, are you serious?
Yeah.
My first one.
Exactly.
This is happening. Oh
Yeah.
my goodness.
We had one year, here's something that just goes bad as an organizer that your heart stops. We have chip timing now, it's all electronic done, so it kind of takes the guesswork out of it, but I was at the finish line and Tanya was, I think, handling people that finished. And in those days, and they still do some races like this, you tear off part of your bib, you finish.
On a clamp, you put it so that you know who came in what
Okay,
order,
sure.
kind of thing. Like
So
it's
a
old school or whatever.
Old school, but
Yeah.
very systematic, and it works. And then when you finish, someone checks you off, and then they tabulate after the results. So I'm standing at the finish line, and I'm looking over to Tanya at the end of this thing. Here comes a wind gust that's 80 an hour, and these things are all on a board. Just so we probably had 700 people, 600 in that race. Board goes down from the wind. These paper hooks go flying through the air. Papers, just so you can imagine.
Oh my God.
And I'm thinking, oh boy. But thankfully, there's always video backup, so that's kind of, you can tabulate everything back together, but that takes your breath away.
That'll make your heart stop.
Yeah, and I mean, that is completely out of control. Timing has always been a challenge. We hire out for timing companies.
Sure, yeah.
You always want that to go smooth, and every year there's glitches. Just for whatever reason, something is different that you hoped, and it's a lot of work after the race, usually, to clean it all up.
Oh, goodness sakes. So, yeah, and so how many hours, how many man hours, lady hours, kid hours do you think go into prepping this before it even gets off the ground, before even a runner even crosses the starting line? How much time do you guys, as a committee, put in? Is there even an estimate? Do you even track it?
It's hundreds.
Thousands.
It's just huge.
It's like a part-time job.
It's a massive undertaking.
Yeah. I think together we'd have a full-time job doing it. Yeah. He does his section, he has his things that he looks after, I have my things that I look after, and then our son knows what it's like.
One of the things that she mentions that kind of, and I'll just segue into that, is that when this started, Tanya was not part of this team, and I was at that first meeting, and we were kind of organizing the race, and I said, well, my wife is so good at this kind of stuff that we need. So I kind of roped her into doing it. And she was very reluctant.
Totally.
you know, she didn't really know, she had been to my running races and those kind of things, but she didn't really know much about just, you know, the vision we had and those kind of things. And, but it was awesome. As a couple, you know, growing together, by the second year we were the race director, so Albert Martin stepped down, and so then we've had kind of the reins ever since, and it's been our vision, I guess you could say, in our team. You know, just getting to work with your wife on something that I'm very passionate about. I'm the runner of the family, the hardcore runner, but getting to work with her skills, my skills, it's been pretty fun to get to, you know, do the journey together, and then especially how we complement each other, and just, yeah, it's amazing.
You get to spend your extracurricular time working on something. And how old's your son?
He's 6.
He's 6, so he knows no different.
No,
he just
not
knows
at all.
this is what we do. This is what we get. This is what we get going.
So
So what's the next step? What's the future hold for Let's Run?
that's a big question. Well, we always say at the end of the year that we're going to take a little bit of time to just wind down and not necessarily know the future. You know, you put in 10, 11 years and you're going, wow, that is a significant amount of our life invested in it.
Absolutely, yeah.
And we're so passionate about it. We're still so passionate about it. We're so excited after the fact to see all these new runners. I'm probably avoiding the question because I don't really know the answer. What's next?
Well, yeah, you're answering it well. You're right. I mean, it was only a week ago, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it is pretty fresh, and that's why I wanted to get you in here, real, so that everything's fresh. I mean, like I said, I was at the event with my children. My daughter helped volunteer. She was serving, you know, milk and juice boxes, and she's only 8 years old, and she's wearing one of those volunteer shirts, those big orange volunteer shirts that came down to her knees, right? And she was just as proud. She wears it as a nightgown now, by the way. No, so she was just tickled. She was so excited. It's the second year in a row my wife ran the event. And our 3-year-old, he sat with me at the finish line waiting for mom to cross, right? It's such a family-oriented event, and it's just wonderful. I mean, on a normal Saturday, I'd be probably flipping flapjacks and making bacon, right? You know, for the family at home. But you know, on a day like that, it was first off, it was a gorgeous day. The weather cooperated with you finally, not like last year. And so the question about the future is that. Take a breath, right? Like, wow, there's so much that goes into this, and then to just get a chance to just sit back and reflect upon, like, there's got to be such a level of pride that comes with this. Like,
It is fun.
Yeah,
it is a lot of fun, and I know when we started, went to the start line to start the kids race, whatever. Like, I actually had like tears in my eyes because I'm like, look at this, like all our hours, our team, like everything that we've done, this is what we've done. Our whole year was spent for these people. And exactly you're saying, it's a very family community thing. I think when we started, it was very individual, like it was like one person from the family would run, but now we have kids, like people are showing off their bibs on Facebook and stuff, and it's like the number 1, it's the 2-kilometer bib, the 5-kilometer bib, their t-shirt, their medal, like it's a big, like the families come, it's not just one person anymore, they're bringing their van load of people and participating, or like you said, volunteering, so.
Yeah, what a, like I said, the pride that goes with this for you guys, the committee, you know, even I saw Mike Killer from Youth for Christ was flipping pancakes there, and you know, and all the involvement that comes with this, like that, you cannot get. There are so many events that go on where they're specific, right? They're just for a specific. That goes back to what we spoke of earlier about how running and walking and stuff is so inclusive, and that is so evident. What was your enrollment this year? How many people participated?
Just under 600.
It's just incredible.
Yeah. And then on top of that, we need 65 volunteers. And then you have, of course, all the people that just come out to support and cheer. And of course, we had the pancake breakfast for the community this year. So, you know, that was something we've never done. We brought in this pancake breakfast under the big tent. And I got to go in there for just a second during the event. And I was just blown away because, I mean, this is a community that's probably never been together becoming a community in a sense.
Yeah.
You know, these runners from all different parts of our area or the city or Manitoba, and then just you know, the end of a runner's race is always a very happy place because the runners and endorphins, the runners high, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And so then all sharing together with, you know, strangers, it was pretty cool to see that, and families, and yeah, just everyone together.
Oh, that's fantastic. Well, I'd like to thank you guys for the work you've done for the last, 10 years, however long it's been, and however long, or whatever the future brings. It's been a really good event for Steinbach and the Eastman region, and I really hope to see that. Whether it's with you two or the committee or anybody else, this event has become a really 10 years. That becomes part of the fabric of a community after that amount of time, and I really hope to see that in the near future that we can continue to see this happen. So, well, thank you so much for your time, and that's Let's Run Steinbach. Greg, Tanya, thank you so much. 10 years, people. 10 years.
10 years.
Think of how many things have gone on in 10 years. Well, we've had a hockey team come back in the last 10 years. So, all right, thank you so much, and we'll talk soon. Bye now.